Have you ever listened to a chord and instantly felt something, but had no idea what the chord actually was? Now imagine being able to instantly recognize any chord before you even touch your instrument, without guessing, without thinking, and without needing perfect pitch, just by feeling them, like this. Okay, good. Again, please. Okay. Which chord that was?
Fifth.
Great. So... Okay. Do you feel like you're thinking a lot when you're doing that?
No, not really.
Was it like that when you started?
No.
Going from zero to this level in just a few months may seem like magic, but it's actually the result of a scientifically backed trick that your brain innately uses if you simply stop focusing on the wrong thing. In this video, I'll share the trick that transformed our student and show you an exercise to apply it right away. Once you understand it, you'll never hear music the same way again. Just like it happened for the more than 2,500 musicians who are following our unique ear training method, now being adopted by top music colleges and universities worldwide. Before diving in, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. So, why is chord recognition so hard for most musicians? There are two big reasons. First, most ear training systems teach you to listen to chords in isolation, as if they were floating in a vacuum, disconnected from any musical context. Listen to a random chord, guess the type, major seventh, minor ninth, and so on. Not only does that completely break the way our brain naturally perceives music, but the problem is also that even if you manage to recognize the quality of the chord, like major seventh or a minor, that alone doesn't tell you which chord to actually play. You still have no idea where to put your fingers on your instrument. Second, the other common approach has you zoom in too far, analyzing each note inside the chord, calculating the intervals between them, and trying to name the chord from the bottom up. Both of these approaches are flawed. They force you into a slow, analytical process that never becomes intuitive, and that's exactly why most musicians feel stuck, even after years of ear training. Decades of cognitive research, like the work of Carol Krumhansel, Butler, Brown, and others, have shown that our musical perception is deeply contextual. That means we don't perceive chords just by their intervals. We perceive them by how they function inside a key. Let me say that in simpler words, because it's crucial. The same chord will sound completely different depending on the key it's played in. For example, let's take C major. This chord will sound very stable and resolved if I play it in this progression. But at the same time, it's going to feel unstable and pull toward resolution if I play it in this other progression. What I've just done is very simple. I played C major in the context of the C major key, and you felt it as having a resolved feeling. That's because in that key, it's the tonic chord, the most stable chord in the key. Then I played a progression in the F major key, where C major is actually a very unstable chord. It's the dominant chord of F major, and that's why you felt it pulling toward resolution, which happened when I played the final F major chord. As you can see, your brain not only perceived the chords, but also the key, and it's the key your brain perceived that made the same chord feel completely different. This should make it clear that these sensations don't just depend on the quality of the chord. In fact, the same exact chord, same quality, same everything created a completely different feeling in the two progressions I just played. So the trick great musicians use isn't to analyze chord quality or individual notes, but to internalize the sensation the chord creates within the key. I didn't always understand this. Years ago, I couldn't recognize chords by ear at all. I tried every method, interval training, chord guessing apps, hundreds of hours in total. None of these worked. But some of my bandmates, the ones who never practiced any of those things, could do it effortlessly. They couldn't even explain how. That made me realize something important. Whatever they were doing, it wasn't about intervals, chord quality, or any of that. So I delved into music cognition science, and I discovered what I just shared with you a minute ago. Instead of practicing random chords, I started training my ear to recognize the feeling of each chord within the key. We call this sensation the chord's global color in our method, because you should focus on feeling the entire chord as a single entity. No attention to individual notes, no focus on intervals or distances, just experiencing the overall feeling of the chord. And here's the next key insight. There are only 7 basic chord colors in any key, just 7. Each has a distinct emotional flavor, just like the 7 notes of the scale. Once you internalize these 7 chord colors, you'll stop guessing chords and start feeling them instantly, just like you know red is red and blue is blue. Let's start developing your intuitive chord recognition with a very simple but powerful exercise. We're going to play short chord progressions that only use 3 chords, the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th. But the chords won't always come in the same order. Your task is simple. Listen to the whole progression and identify which chord feels the most stable, the most resolved, the one that feels like home. That's the first chord, the tonic. Even if you can't name the other chords yet, learning to recognize the home chord by its emotional pull is the crucial first step. I'll explain why later. For now, listen closely. Don't overthink. Just ask yourself, which chord feels like home? Which one could end the song? Did you get where the first chord was played? Here is the correct answer. Let's try another progression. Here is the correct answer. Let's try one last time. Here is the correct answer. Now, if you were able to feel which chord was home in each progression, that's a huge first step. If you didn't, don't worry. In just a minute, I'll tell you exactly where to find the help you need to master this first step. Before I get to that, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Recognizing the first chord, the tonic, is the key to everything else, because the tonic is what creates the center of gravity in music. Once your ear locks onto it, your brain creates an internal map of the tonality. This allows you to recognize all other chords and notes, even those outside the key. Once you're able to consistently recognize the tonic chord by its emotional color, you can start identifying the other 6 chords one by one, gradually building your ability to recognize full progressions by ear. And here's the beautiful part. As you internalize the sensation of each chord, everything becomes easier. Transcription becomes faster. Improvisation becomes more expressive. Composition becomes intuitive. Even your singing improves, because the more clearly you feel the sensation of the chords, the more stable your inner sense of key becomes. And if you don't yet realize how deeply your sense of key affects your intonation, improvisation, composition, musical creativity, and your overall ear training skills, then check out our free ear training workshop. We'll guide you in assessing your current level, show you the exact sequence of exercises you need, and teach you the science-based thinking strategies that actually lead to an intuitive musical ear. It will save you a ton of time and frustration, and it's completely free. You can sign up with the link in the description below. If you're not quite ready for the workshop, check out this other video where we walk you through the exact exercises and step-by-step strategy that helped our student go from 0 to recognizing notes and chords by ear, just like you saw at the beginning of this video.